Hey everyone, Big Mac here. Welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Red. I'm in a slightly different place than I was before. I just went to the store. I sold my nugget that we had found in the tunnel. I think we found it in the tunnel. Anyway, then I just stored some extra stuff in, like extra unwanted stuff in my computer. And unlike last episode, I have decided to put Nacho away. Nacho was not going to be part of my team, like I had originally been thinking. Took a bit of thought, but you know. That's just what happens. Anyway, let's go to this Pokemon Center. Pokemon? No. This is a hotel for people. Ew, so why do you look like a Pokemon Center? It looks like I should just be able to go here and turn on the computer and... Oh, hello. I have a computer here. Invisible computer. But like I said, I have Nacho in here. So, in terms of everybody else, I think I am pretty much done training... Arturo as it is. I don't really see much of a need to be focusing on him anymore. So, any and all battles that we get into from this point onward are just going to focus on Gonzalez and Pancho. So anyway, if we go in here, this is actually the game corner, where we can actually spend our hard-earned winnings and gamble away and waste all of our money on things. There's a suspicious-looking dude back here. Who do I have him out in front of my team right now? I have Gonzalez. That's perfect. I'm good in the poster. So, like that guy that we saw as soon as we had stepped into Celadon City, he was like, "Get out of Team Rocket's way!" Why is Team Rocket here in Celadon City? Well, because Team Rocket is partly behind this whole game corner. I mean, I don't know if it was a legitimate business before Team Rocket came in and intervened, but the fact is, we have to do something about it now because... for some reason, we are obligated to solve the world's problems. That's okay. You know, that's fine. We can't really get into any other places at the moment anyway, so we can't really worry about trainer battles too much. I mean, we finished up battling Erica here, but, you know, there was that Snorlax to the left, Snorlax to the right. There's nowhere we can go, and Saffron City is closed off, too. So, why not meddle around with Team Rocket's affairs? You know, it's the least we can do, really. You know, we have to be polite about these kinds of things. So how's everybody doing today? Today is July 18th. Again, sorry I have everything super shaky. Just watch it on a really tiny screen. Pretend you were watching it on your Game Boy. Just without the pretty border on the edges. Oh no! Confusion. Alright, let's finish off this battle really quickly. Thank you. So now that Gonzalez has evolved and that Arturo has learned Psybeam, again I mentioned I'm not going to be focusing on Arturo anymore. We are phasing him out. I'm just going to leave him here as part of the team, just in case of emergency purposes. You know, the ones that you can't foresee. In a way that we can't go down that way. So what are we doing in here? We have actually infiltrated a Team Rocket hideout. Oh, hello. There's a little bug on my computer screen. That's just great. I don't know what kind of little bug it is, but it's like the little ones that like to come to the pretty lights. The ones that are like, I like the pretty lights. Absorb me in your electrons, or not your electrons, your photons. And you don't know. I need to take another physics course. Seriously. I mean, I technically took one 2 years ago. I didn't learn a thing from it. Basically, it was the course that I took 2 years ago was a mathematical perspective of quantum physics. In essence, not a bad idea, but in execution, it was a lot more pure math than I was expecting, which I feel kind of obscured what was actually going on. It's kind of funny because you would think that once you actually understood what was going on, it would make more sense. But of course, no, not really, not this time. So, you know, I'd like to go back and take like a... Well, I took the whole like freshman / sophomore intro sequence. Well, I tested out of part of it, but you know the like the intro mechanics, the intro magnetism, intro thermodynamics and optics, thermo-quantum theory and relativity, that kind of stuff. You know, I really enjoyed those classes, the ones that I took. You know, technically in terms of my undergrad, I was one class away from getting a physics minor. Not that I needed it because I was already getting a double major, but my final semester I actually took a class in physics programming, which was actually useful for a computer. For my computers, it was more. I took it more as a more for the computer skills. In terms of, ooh, nice job, Gonzalez. Well done, mister. Anyway, so yeah, it was a physics programming class, which at the time, I forget. Yeah, it counted as a junior level class by that point. So I think I could have just taken one more physics course, and I would have gotten a minor technically. Of course, I didn't, final semester senior year, I was kind of burnt out. I was only taking 12 minutes and 12 units. 12 minutes. I wish I could have taken 12 minutes of senior year. That would have been nice. But so I was only taking 12 units, and I was already pretty fed up with everything. I was like, I'm done with the school. I'm done with the senior project. Get me out of here. So, but fortunately, ooh, moonstone. I don't think we're gonna ever need these moonstones, but might as well pick them up while we're here. I changed the color palette here also, so you can see these windy, loopy arrow thingies that are everywhere. Is there anybody over this way? I can't tell. But anyway, my senior semester, my senior year, in terms of the fall semester for college, I had taken, 15 units. They were all engineering courses because I was getting an engineering degree. So yeah, it was all engineering courses. It was stuff like heat transfer and thermodynamics and general business, well, not business practice, but it was a senior design project and engineering, and I don't know what you would call it. Basically, it was the lab. It was a lab course. What else did I take that semester? I know I took 15 units, or what else? I don't know. I'd have to go back and double check my schedule. It's weird because for the most part I can remember most of my college schedule. I can even remember almost my junior high through my junior high and high school schedules. I can almost remember them by period. So I don't know if that just means that I paid way too much attention to them or not, but whatever. But in terms of my senior class, what did I? Okay, so what I took? So I took lab, I took heat design or heat transfer. I took machine shop, which was for me very scary because I am not, for getting a degree in mechanical engineering, I've kind of not used it very much at all. Nor am I ever been mechanically inclined. I never took machine shop in high school. I never had, I never worked on stuff in the garage. I was like, yeah, no, I don't care for those things. I just like the math behind the engineering. That's why I picked it. But so I had machine shop, and that was okay. So so you got to use drills and saws and everything else that you would expect for a... Sorry, change the color back. For a machine shop class, and I did not really care for it all that much. Senior design project the second semester, I actually had to use the machine shop to build a couple things. They were not fun. I hated doing it. I got absolutely no enjoyment out of it. Whereas other people in my group were like, oh man, that looks like so much fun. No, it wasn't. It most certainly was not. Ooh, a hyper potion, that's cool. But I'm still trying to think, what other courses because I took the lab course, I took senior design and machine shop, I took a junior level course as a senior because it was a mandatory course that I just hadn't taken yet, and it was ridiculously easy. I took what was it called? It was like analysis of machines or something. Basically, it was like, here's how gears and rotors and stuff rotate. Oh, that's the other one. No, I took that junior year. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, being really stubborn with, that fall semester, just all engineering courses, that actually finished up all of my electives. Maybe I took an elective. Maybe that was it. Maybe. Like, yeah. That's what it was. It was an elective course in fuel cell technology, which was kind of cool, but nothing that really intrigued me. The course itself was not very hard either. It just required a basic chemistry background as it was. So, so that was a pretty straightforward course, actually. That was the other one that filled up my schedule. So then spring semester came around. All I had to do was my senior project for the engineering degree, and I was like, that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not taking any more of your silly electives. I don't care about your advanced thermodynamics or your gas properties. I'm done with you. You are beneath me or something. So I had to figure out something to fill up the rest of my schedule with. In terms of my options, I signed up for the physics course like I had mentioned, but that was just mostly a programming course. So it wasn't that bad in all honesty. And then the other one that I had to take was a second math course, or not a second math course, but just my last math course for my math degree, which was in, what was it called? It was called, I think it was just called like Math Laboratory or something like that. Basically it was like, you've learned math. You've learned awesome things about math. Now use the math to do something cool. So I actually got into a group project with a friend of mine and a couple other people, and we did a project on trying to model crowd behavior, particularly in the situation of an evacuation. So actually, if you guys go to like my really old my very first set of videos, I've actually got like simulations of those thingies that we came up with. The first one was just like are all the people, the people that are just listed as dots on our map, are all the people actually going to the exit correctly? And then number 2 was, what if there are additional constraints? What if people start trying to trample over each other, in the case of an emergency? How likely are people to follow other people, kind of like a trail of ants? How much are people just, willing to try and go on their own way? In what way can we try and predict these factors? What's the most realistic situation? Stuff like that. Of course, we didn't get too technical in our analysis because we had too many variables and we only had 1 semester to work on it. So it was just a 3-unit class as well. Oh no, Gonzalez is asleep. Gonzalez already has done a good amount of work. He's already out of his Thunderbolt PP, so I might actually just let him sleep it off. Not that he's going to sleep it off, he's going to stay asleep until I do something about it. But in all honesty, I think now might actually be a good time for me to head back up to the Pokemon Center and Poke stuff. Alright, do I want the thingy? Yes, I want the thingy. Ooh, a rare candy, that's nice. But yeah, so I had that mathematical modeling course, I had the physics course, and I had my senior design course, which I did not appreciate very much, but I finished it up anyway. Finally, I still had to take one last course for the semester, so I figured, okay, I've finished all my gen eds, I'm otherwise set for my college degree. I could either take, I actually had a couple of classes set up. Like, I had signed up for 3 possible last classes, and then I figured, I'll just drop it down to 1 of them. Oh, HP up. Let's give that to somebody who's going to stay on our team. It's a vitamin. Yeah, vitamin. Yeah, let's keep it that way. Anyway, so I had signed up for 3 extra courses, and I went to all of them for the first couple of weeks, just to try and get an idea of if I had a favorite or not. The 3 that I had signed up for was a math course in partial differential equations, which was one of those, I don't need it anymore for the major, but I probably should take it because it's probably pretty useful. I forgot to switch out Gonzalez, that's great. Maybe I'll just maybe he'll make up naturally, I don't know. Anyway, so I had the partial differential equations course, and I was in it with a friend, and she needed the course. I didn't for our degrees because we took different sets of courses and stuff. But I just did not like that course at all. Maybe it was just the professor. I think it was the professor just made it completely not unlearnable, but it just seemed ridiculously mysterious to me the entire time I was in the class. Of course, I probably could have focused on it a little bit better and gone through the course fine. I did ace the first homework set, but it was not a course that I was enjoying by any means. And for being my last semester of undergrad, I wanted to take something at least remotely either cool or enjoyable. The programming course that I had taken, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. The second course that I had signed up for was actually an astronomy course that the freshmen of astronomy majors have to take. So it's just basic stuff like spherical trig and basic properties of astrophysics, stuff that you would see it's in a typical astronomy majors course. And I enjoyed that course very much, but again, it was a really cool topic and everything, but the only problem that I had with it was I could tell that, since this is meant to be for freshmen astronomy majors, it was going to be a time commitment. And not that I was afraid of the time commitment, but, again, being in my last semester, I wanted to try and have something a little more enjoyable, and frankly, they were kind of taking the fun out of the course. It was a large auditorium, style course, and I wound up just turning back in the textbook a couple weeks in and being like, no, I'm not going to stay in this course, sorry. I probably should have kept the textbook, though, because that way I could have tried to brush up on the stuff myself. That would have been useful. But the last course that I had signed up for was an elective course. It was a very selective elective course, as in there were only 20 people allowed in the class. So in that sense, maybe I shouldn't have signed up for the course, because, you know what, I better just go heal. I don't know what I'm running out of, I'm wasting time here. You know what, let's just go ahead and use the escape rope, because remember, Gonzalez is asleep and has no PP, and stuff like that, so let's recharge him before we head down to the bottom floor of the, this building. So the final class that I had signed up for, I had, again, like I mentioned, I had already finished all of my gen ed credits. I had taken all the required general education classes. I actually had extra room in my schedule for auxiliary classes, so 2 of those physics classes that I told you about already, no, well, I guess 3 of them now, those were pure elective for me. I had absolutely no reason to take them. I just took them because I was like, I like physics. I also had taken a psychology course, just a basic Psych 101 course, my junior year as well, just for the heck of it, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was like the Psych 101 course. Literally, it was Psychology 101. So it was just very basic, meant for freshmen. But the cool thing was with that course, it was an evening course, once a week, 5 to 8 on Mondays. So the cool thing was that I actually got to have not just your regular batch of freshmen and other students, but you also had a lot of older adults, ones who actually wanted to be in the class, ones who wanted to be involved in the class. And it was cool because in that respect, you were able to communicate a lot more. Did I grab the thingy that was over here? Honestly, I don't remember. I've just been blabbing and blabbing and blabbing, and I don't think I grabbed the thingy that was over here. Maybe I did. Fine. What was it? Oh, yeah, I guess I did grab the thingy that was over here. Anyway, let's just backtrack a little bit. Sorry. So, the class that I had managed to get into, it was a 20-seated class, highly sought after. One of the classes that always fills out like within, the first 30 minutes of the traditional schedule sign-up form. They've changed it since they've changed the enrollment process since then. But basically it was a free-for-all, mad dash to get to the to sign up for the courses you wanted on the computer. Because basically it was like, if you get in, yay, and if you don't, too bad. But the last class that I had actually managed to get into was a music class, and it was a music history class, and I had a roommate who took the jazz history course, and I was like, oh, that sounds like fun, but that one was already full, so I looked up for the next one, and they were like, rock and roll history, and I'm like, sweet, rock and roll history, I can get behind that. It was an honors course, so it only had 20 students in it. There were 2 sections. The one had 20, the other one had 300. It was ridiculous. That was easily one of my favorite courses ever. Not because it was an easy course. In all honesty, it was a pretty easy course. I had to write just a couple of essays, really short essays even. Our final consisted of a massive quiz show style game where we had prizes. Our team won the contest because of the final question on me, something about Lilith Fair. I mean, it was a really cool class. It spanned the entire spectrum from the 50s and onward. So we had lectures on everything. We had excuse me. We had lectures on everything. So we had lectures on the Beatles. We had lectures on 70s supergroups. We had lectures on hip-hop and rap. We had lectures on Radiohead. We had lectures on women's movement. We had lectures on indie rock. And what was the title? Twee. I had never heard that word before. Twee music. But oh my gosh, Gonzalez is not Gonzalez. Maybe I shouldn't have wasted my time on Gonzalez then, because I just realized there's gonna be a lot of ground type Pokemon down here, which is not good for Gonzalez. But at least he got a little bit of XP in that sense. And plus, I was able to elaborate on my story somewhat as well. So not necessarily a bad thing. Ooh, Poncho gained a level. Sweet. Ekans. So, yeah, it was just a really fun course. The professor, very informative of the material. We would just sit in, we would listen to lectures, we would listen to the different kinds of music, and, half of it I had seen before, if not more than half of it. I was like, oh man, I love the Beatles, and I think that's why most people like the class as well, because, they've grown up with the music all their lives, and they figure that they can relay some bit of information about it as well. I remember I was able to help my, my music professor one time, because he was, I don't remember what he was giving a lecture about. I think it was a lecture about women of 90s women's rock. And, he was just giving his lecture, so obviously there were your typical ones like Sheryl Crow, we talked about Lauryn Hill of the Fugees, stuff like that. And then, at the end, I forget, he started going on a bunch of tangents. And then he started talking about protests, and the Kent State protest, and he was like, oh gosh, who was the girl who was there? And I'm like, Chrissy Hynde of the Pretenders! And he's just like, thank you, Mitch, thank you so much. And I'm like, you're welcome. It was just really awesome that I could help out in a class like that. But, in all seriousness, that was an awesome course. It was wonderfully done. Hopefully Dig will not miss. It missed. Not good. But that was just an awesome class. I mean, the exams itself, but the idea, the other thing I really liked about the course was, since there were only 20 people in there, we could really get into just like an individual basis. We could just talk about, we had, little group projects, of course, of stuff that we could deal with. I got into a friend and I had to get into we just basically did a simple PowerPoint presentation on the origins of MTV. Music television, back when MTV stood for music television, as opposed to its current programming, which is just what it is now. Although that is still successful in its own right. I'm not gonna argue about selling out to the real world, New Jersey. I've been talking about music and my college courses this entire episode. I haven't even explained what we're doing. We attacked the one of the Team Rocket strongholds, and we are now going against its boss. Genghis Khan is its boss. No, Giovanni was the guy's name. So hopefully, there's also been some rumor about something called the Sylph Scope, which will actually enable us to see ghosts. And of course, where will we probably see ghosts? Well, probably back in Lavender Town, where we had the cemetery and stuff, or the Pokemon Tower, and we beat Giovanni. Ha 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 ha. All right. So I think I have just about done everything that I wanted to do in this episode. Let's go ahead and just quickly get back up to the Pokemon Center and heal up real quick. And I think what I'll do in the next episode is I will just go head back to Lavender Town. No. Heal, yes. You see, now that I'm actually talking about the game, I'm screwing up. But short story was, I loved that rock and roll music class. Dr. Moon, if you're listening, on the off chance, you were awesome. I loved that course so much. Anyway, let's just quickly fly back to, of course, now my air conditioner turns off as we are approaching the end of this episode. What you gonna do? Anyway, we are back here in Lavender Town. We now have the Sylph Scope item. So what we'll do in the next episode is we will use it to try and climb up this Pokemon Tower, see if there's anything useful upstairs. You know, maybe, Pablo had said that he tried to find a Marowak. Maybe we can find it. I don't know. This is Big Mac saying. Later.